Hey guys, Dario from Infamous Automotive again. Uh, Sorry for the long delay. I think the last video I did was the diff swap in this thing. It's been pretty much just about a month now. We moved shops, bunch of stuff going on, a lot going on with this. Just kind of I've been all over the place lately, getting caught up. This is the busy time of year for customer projects, and I'm trying to get a lot of stuff out the door and that kind of stuff. So about 3 weeks ago, we started tuning this thing. My buddy Toma hadn't got his dyno set up, so I said, the hell with it, we'll street tune it. Started out with one of Matt's tunes that he has on the Sloppy Mechanics page now. We ended up putting the 70-pound injectors in. I ran with the stock injectors just decapped, and I pulled the plugs a couple times. Everything looked okay, and then I had one lock up on me, so I ended up borrowing a set from my buddy Justin, and then I'm just gonna throw another set back in this thing after. Did that. What else did I do? So anyways, we did a bunch of street tuning, 3-bar map, HP tuners. I'm using innovated LM1 portable wideband. I actually have another wideband in the car just to compare right now. It's one of my other portable ones. Because once in a while the wideband does some weird readings, but it turns out it was just the wideband itself. So we were doing a bunch of street tuning. Everything was kind of going good on 10 pounds. My buddy Ryan was riding shotgun, watching the laptop while I drove. And we ended up having a bad encounter with a manhole cover, I guess you could call it, at about, I don't know, 120 miles an hour. So we were just ripping down the road. There was a little dip in the road. The pan on this thing actually hangs crazy low. I'll give you a shot of the pan. You can kind of see it there. It hangs way below the cross member. The car is not low at all, but it ended up bottoming out and cracking the pan. I'll show you here. So there's a nice big gash, and it didn't even feel that bad of a hit, but I figured we'd pull over and check, and it was just pouring out. So we trailered it back to the house, slipped another junkyard pan in. I didn't even clean it up or anything, just tapped the hole for the drain and knocked the dirt out of the inside, and that was that. And then we had a track rental coming up. It was last Friday, and so the night before, my buddy Tom was like, I think I got the dyno working, come by and we'll give it a try. So throw it on the dyno, drive all the way out to his house. It's about 20-30 miles away. Everything goes good. Put it on the dyno, do a couple pulls. Air fuel's good. We turn it up. Air fuel, the VE starts going away. Like, it got 120% duty cycle and all that kind of stuff. So turns out these Chinese $40 fuel pumps are good for about 10 or 12 pounds, and anything over that they're not. So luckily I've had this pump kicking around. I honestly can't remember where it's from, but it's a Bosch. It's a legit Bosch 044, but it's noisy. So we swapped it in on the dyno, turned it up to 16 pounds. It made 530, which we're not totally sure if that's right or not. Injector duty cycle was at 100%, and I was doing all the tuning anyway, so it could be anything. So I ended up just leaving it like that because I had the track day the next day. Taking it out on the highway, still doing a couple pulls, still 100% duty cycle, but it never seemed to get any worse than that. But it never seemed to get any worse than that. On the way home though, I was like, okay, I'll fill up with gas. This thing just runs on 91 or 93, whatever's closest at the time. And I stopped at the gas station, and of course there was a giant puddle. under the car, and it ended up shitting out the water pump. And yes, that's what my coolant used to look like. It was a light brown, but I think that was that when it came with the car. So anyways, it ended up turning into a 2 o'clock in the morning. Get the water pump swapped out with this dirty sucker that's in there. I didn't clean that up either. I just tapped the hole at the top for the vent, threw it back in. You can see everything's got a nice coat of muddy water on it, but it ended up working out okay. I'm sure my turbo inhaled a bunch of it too, because you can see there's a bunch of rusty mud on it. So we got the dyno done. I'll throw up a couple clips of that. I didn't get a dyno sheet or anything. I was just making sure it was safe, and I was really worried about the fuel pressure and stuff, so we ended up doing that. So next morning, go to the track, go to make a pass. It's fat, like crazy fat. Don't know why. Take 10% out. Runs like a 13. Make another pass, cleans up a little bit, take another 10% out. It's fat. Breaking up. Another pass, cleans up a little bit, take another 10% out. It's fat, like burying the wideband fat. Have no idea why it is. Looking at the logs, no idea. So we just keep pulling fuel out of it. So I end up pulling like 20% of fuel out of the tube to finally get it to clear up. It's around 10.8, 11.2. Seems to work okay. And then we finally get it to go on the third pass. It goes 1085, 127, 175, 60 foot. I'll post up a time slip. Not the greatest, but that was the best I got of the day. Went 11.2, one skating. It went 11.4, one skating, but I don't know what it totally was. The car was actually dumping dirt on the track because the rear bumper was full of dirt, and we kind of decided to call it a day at that and try again. But I'm guessing for the first day, a 1085 at 126 isn't that bad. So this is what it looks like here. Still got the half white wall tires. Ended up buying these. These are the Vision Soft 8s from Summit. They're like $115, and then I had a $20 Summit bucks. So I got them for 95 bucks. Got the tires off my buddy Brett. They're 2610.5 ET Street with a little bit of life left. Got them for 50 bucks. So that kind of came out of the engine fund. I still got to do exact totaling on everything, but we're pretty close. We're figuring, we were counting on the way home from the track that I'm at about $1,985. And so I had about 15 bucks left, so I went to Walmart and got a football for 6 bucks. So that's going to go in the right rear spring, $5.97 plus tax. So anyways, we're going to jam the football in the rear spring. I could get this done in one shot if people would stop phoning me, but since one of the before videos, the only thing I've really added was the meth kit. I got the pump off one of my buddies for 40 bucks. I got the tank off of another buddy. I had used 625 mil nozzle. That's a little 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch hydraulic fitting. And then I got the a hub switch for like 20 bucks. So I think I have like 80 bucks total into everything. It doesn't really seem to need it, but I have it turning on at 10 pounds. I just kind of tuned it into the tuning while I was doing it. I have a pressure gauge on there because it's doing a weird thing where after it goes into boost, it goes crazy fat. You'll see it in the videos of at the track. Whenever I did a burnout, as soon as I got into boost, it would start going fat and it wouldn't lean out. So I had to clear it out. I tried shutting it off and starting it up again. I tried all kinds of stuff. Nothing really seems to figure it out. I have all the adders turned off in HP tuners. I still haven't totally figured out why it's doing that, because I can drive it as long as I want, not in boost. First time I go into boost, it picks up 2 points and the air fuel goes fatter, and it doesn't go back to normal till I stop and let it sit. So I'm not totally sure about that, but I'm going to try to figure out why it's doing that. It could be the meth. It could be, I checked the fuel pressure, it's not dropping. I checked the regulator, tried a different one. It's none of that stuff. So I'm just going to cut to a couple of the videos, the 1085 video, and then my last half decent pass of the day where I was still spinning everywhere, racing against my buddy Joel and his Mustang. So I'll cut to those and then I'll come back one more time and kind of go over where we're going to go with this thing. So those were a couple of the passes. The very first pass that I showed earlier in the video, you can tell it was really breaking up. The main thing right now is we're going to figure out why it's doing that. I might have to send my log to somebody. I'm going to end up fixing this headliner because since my helmet has been rubbing on it when we were at the track, it falls down, so I get a free hat all the time. Everybody keeps asking me now, well, you didn't run 9s, what are you going to do now? I'm like, well, I didn't say I was going to run 9s on the first pass. I said I was going to run 9s. So our plan now is to probably hit the dyno again, see why it's doing some weird things, throw some timing at it, throw some boost at it. I maxed out my manual boost controller. This thing will do 6-7 pounds on wastegate spring. And with the boost controller, I'm getting 16 pounds, which is close. Usually you get double of whatever the spring is. So I'm going to probably throw another spring in the wastegate and see if I can get it up to maybe 20-22 pounds. It's still happy. IATs are happy. The cut down intercooler is working well. The reground cam so far, it seems to have all its lobes still. I don't notice. I drained the oil after I swapped the pan, and I haven't noticed any weird stuff. It's always got a sheen to it, right? Like you're putting the boost to unknown mile motors, right? So like sometimes you knock the crosshatch off of it once you put a little bit of boost into it. So the main thing is we're going to do is get the boost up, see what this thing weighs so we kind of know where we're at horsepower wise versus what it actually made on the dyno. And then the next plan, and then we're going to probably hit the track again. But because it wasn't a track rental, I'm probably going to have to half track it for a bit to see if I can get it to leave. Make sure everything's kind of in check. If I can get it into the 650 at 110-ish in the 8th, then I'll roll it out the back door. This thing's never really going to leave really hard because it's got 273s. The best I probably could hope was foot braking is like a 1.5, 60 foot-ish with the way it's set up. Might try a different set of tires. Like I said, I'm at around $2,000. I'm not done. I haven't reached my goal. So the main thing is we're gonna just keep going till we either blow this thing up or reach their goal at what we want to do. So stay tuned. Thanks for all the subscribers. Like literally, I started this episodes with 100 subscribers, and I think I'm at around 1,300 now. So thanks for everybody for subscribing to my page, liking my Instagram pages, supporting the shop, and all that kind of stuff. Like, people think I'm crazy because I'm showing people how to build a car for $2,000, and I actually do this for a living. And people think, doesn't that contradict yourself because you're showing people how to do it cheap? But I've always tried to save my customers money. This is just the extreme of it. Like, I'm not going to build you a car for $2,000 because you're not going to pay me go to the junkyard, pull a $235 motor. You're not going to spend 2 years or a year collecting parts to do this. I'm showing this to people because I get people all the time that say you can't build stuff and have fun for cheap anymore. And this is proof that you can. Like, 1085 for $2,000 is nothing to scoff about. Like, I'm just trying to go to the extreme of everything. So I'd really like to get the $999 out of it. Either this thing's going to go $999 or I'm going to blow it the fuck up. So stay tuned. I'm going to have more updates, probably more dynos, more burnouts, more track stuff. Who knows? But thanks again.